¿Quieres empezar una carrera en tecnología, pero no puedes porque trabajas tiempo completo? Puedes estudiar a tiempo parcial.
Hey everybody, I believe I'm live here. If you can, for those people that are on here right now, just hit me up, leave me a little comment right now, let me know that you can hear my audio and video. This is still kind of new to me here, so just wanting to sit back and hop on here. As some of you may or may not know, I'm just sorry I'm looking here again. I'm kind of new to some of the lives here, so I'm just making sure that I am live and that everything is going well. So just make sure. Yep, that is good. We are live. Awesome. So right now, for those people that are, hopefully you'll be tuning in here. If you take a look, that's correct. Cancun. This is my first full week in Cancun right now. I left the U.S. Last week on Friday, which is why we didn't really have a live. I was traveling during that time, but sat back and moved to Cancun for a few months here, and not sure where I'm going to go after that, but I'm just going to be, traveling and taking my business along with everything else on the road. It's pretty cool. But I was just here yesterday. Just caught the public bus down and actually saw this sign. Believe it or not, guys, that beach is accurate. I mean, that's not a photoshopped picture. That is what the water in the beach looks like at Cancun. It is absolutely beautiful. But hey, I tell you what, guys, enough about that. Good, we got some people coming on. Hey, Jake, looks good. Hey, appreciate you guys' feedback here. So right now, one of the things I wanted to do here is I made a post on my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to get better at this. So please kind of work with me and be with me here. But I'm trying to sit back, and I'm moving in more of a sort of a membership type of area. I know a lot of people in Highlevel, they want to have a little bit more, somebody maybe to go to ask a question and sort of a community. And right now I don't really have something like that built. I have something like that built for my affiliates inside of Highlevel, and where I answer their questions, and we have calls and things like that, but nothing public, nothing with a lot of people who are just high-level users. They need some help, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to admit, support is not always the best with being able to answer questions, and sometimes they take a couple of days to get back to you when it should be something that support knows right off the bat. And I can kind of share in some of that frustration. But anyway, what I wanted to do is post something that just said, hey, what do the members of my YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you haven't looked at here, it's just something I'm starting. And when I go live here eventually this week and probably next week, it'll still be open to just like subscribers. But for those people that want to hop in, ask me questions and things like that, it will be restricted to just the members. And I am creating sort of a members only area behind the scenes where I get a little bit more informal and not just structured videos like I have been on my YouTube channel, but a little bit more informal and things like that, where we can have like a sort of members only grouping where you guys will be invited to have things and have some Q&As, stuff like that, just like we have here. Now, this is going to be specifically over workflow automations, and I've got a list right here of a couple of questions that people have asked. I posted another post a couple of days ago on my channel just regarding who has workflow automation questions and things like that. And I have some people who, again, ask me questions. I've received them, and I want to sit back and get into it here. So right now, I'm not going to sit back and call out names and sort of name names here. I'm just going to try to sit back and read questions to see if I can answer them on the live here. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm reading just some of my questions. If you guys have questions, also, I set this live up to only my subscribers can actually hop on here. So right now, again, if you haven't subscribed, you won't be able to participate. But as far as the questions go, just drop them in the Q&A, and I'll see if I can't get to them here. If you guys have a specific problem, unfortunately, I can't do any kind of screen sharing and help you out live, but it's just if you have questions about how do we do something here, then I'd be more than happy to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go over, if you haven't seen my video from a couple of days ago, that was something that was just sort of an impromptu video that I created based upon a particular workflow I was working on. I'm like, you know what, this is a really interesting kind of problem that I have, and I'm sure other people would be happy to see how I solved it or what I did around it to see if it would help them out in their business as well. So we'll take a look at that as well here. So guys, thanks so much, and let's get into it here. So we've got somebody just said, hi Ray, I need a workflow for someone signs up and receives a 15% off join my community. I need to know what needs to be sent afterwards. So this is just a question that they have. So I'm just trying to take it at face value here. So right now you need a workflow for when somebody signs up for your community. So number one, what does that really mean? So if somebody signs up for your community, I don't really, the point about this is I'm not sure how they're signing up for the community. You see, this is the point, the problem that some people may end up having is, and let me kind of hop in and share my screen here. So we'll go back into sort of edit mode. This is just sort of a playground inside of one of my sub accounts that I use for practice. But right now, if you're going to be selling memberships or having a community that you're looking to sell, how really should you do it? Now, number one here, I would think the best way to do that would just really be to build a simple, 2-page funnel, maybe even a 3-step funnel. Sorry, not a page, 3-step funnel, where you would have, boom, you'd log into the first page where it says, hey, here's all the benefits, like a virtual sales letter. And I don't have one built here, by the way, but just a virtual sales letter. Here's my community. Here's what it's called. And if you want to, you can even say, hey, go look at it on GoCollab.com. But here's the group. Here's what it's for. Here's what you're going to get. And of course, with the virtual sales letter, you've got probably a video, or it could be an explainer video. It could be a video of yourself. But you're going through along with a lot of bullet points saying, here's what you're going to get. Here's the reason why you should join. Blah, blah, blah. Click here to join. And then when they click here, basically at that particular point, you can have a product that you're looking to sell. And ultimately, the whole goal of having a community is just being able to charge them every single month for a particular service. Now, again, this would be a product that you create, and it wouldn't be something that you would create if you're an agency pro. This wouldn't be something that you would create in the SaaS configurator, by the way. So this is not something that you would go to that level, but you would end up creating a product in that particular sub account. So you would just come over here to payments, and you would just come over to products and this particular product, and you would just say create product. So here, and again, we wouldn't want to, I don't know, maybe you want to put it a part of your online store if you have it. I'm just going to say no, but product, and we could just say, raise community. So you create a product, you give it a description, you might give it a file name here, and stuff like that. Give it a nice little image to what you're looking for. Come down here and, I don't think you're going to be taxing people on it here, but you're going to sit back. The biggest thing I want to show you here is instead of one time, you're just going to set this for reoccurring. And this could be whatever, $129 a month, USD, trial period 0. Let's just say no, they join, there's going to be no trial periods. Number of payments, not going to be looking at number of payments because it's just going to be recurring. Is there going to be a setup fee and things like that? So this is really what you would end up doing, is just creating a product like this. And then once you have the product, you would then go to your funnel, go to the order form, attach that product to the order form, and then people could purchase it. And then when they go through the funnel, they're going to hit the sales letter. Yes, I want to join the community. Goes to the next page. The next page has an order form connected to this product, which is a reoccurring product. And then when they buy it, then at this particular point, what happens? So again, I know this is kind of a lot for the question, but a lot of people have problems with how to particularly set up just a basic setup for selling a community. Now, this is one way. I'm going to show you another way here, but going through a funnel, and then once you actually have a funnel, then it's just simply going through and triggering an automation here. So let's just say you've got the funnel built, and just to follow through with that, the first page is a virtual sales letter. The second page is your order form, where they confirm the order and that kind of thing. And then when they select it, then you can have an order confirmation page if you want to, and you combine that with a thank you page, and then something like that. And then you provide instructions about, hey, you will receive an email, giving you access on how to join our group and join the community online. So now once you've got that done, what exactly are you looking for? You're going to be triggering a workflow based upon that particular funnel and the sale in that particular product. So you could do that. So you could sit back, and again, I'm going to be limited here by, I don't really have a particular funnel, but I do have a funnel. And forgive me here, let me take a look here let me just see if it's sale. See if, nope. Sometimes I forget, I don't do this a whole lot here, so I'm trying to think of what trigger we're dealing with here. So, no, we're not dealing with courses, affiliate created. Has to be some sort of an event here. Not very good at me here to sit back and just like, what is that trigger? But anyway, it's just a sale of inside of your funnel. You have a sale, and then from there you can sit back and add a filter for the funnel type, and then what kind of sale type was it? Was it a sale? Was it an upsell or something like that? And that right there would just simply be your trigger here. Forgive me if I'm drawing a blank. I don't want to keep staggering here, but that's what would be your trigger. And then once you have that inside of there, that would be the trigger. And then you would just simply come here. And one of the nice things, if they have, I believe it's a community action or like grants, I think it's called grant something here, grant course offer. This would be if you wanted to, or even grant group access. So right now, depending on how you set yourself up, if you have a community, then you would just say you want to grant group access. Once you grant group access, and you would simply come down here. I have two myself, the client support community, or here, this is just sort of a fake online community that I built. But let's just say that you want to get like DigiAgent clients only, then, or whatever your community is called, then you can just simply say save action. And then once that sale gets triggered here, then you can grant them group access. And then whenever you grant them group access, then at that particular point here, I'm just, I could just save this real quick, but I should have multiple windows open. But whenever you do that, then when you come into your memberships and then your communities, let's just say your settings here, is it settings? Courses, settings. So there's an email that gets launched that you can set up your email settings here. So right now, these are some of the default templates. And I think in the communities, I thought there was a different area for you to do that. But basically, you could set up your own default template, your email template, that gets emailed to people whenever they join your community. So it's just like a welcome group. And I think I actually have some of these emails actually in a template. So March newsletter, welcome affiliate. No, this wasn't it. But anyway, it's an email template that you can define, and you can actually select inside of here, inside of your memberships area here somewhere for client portal, courses. Here we go. So under your client portal settings, email, for anybody that joined the group, you have a default template for this one, or you can come down here and select one of your other templates for this one. And basically all that just means is that whenever somebody basically purchases your community, you have a workflow that kicks off on the sale of that virtual sales funnel, gets them access to the group, and from the group, you have a default template that's already defined, and that default template could be an email that says, here's my portal link, here's your login, here's how you reset your password, here's how you gain access to everything in my community, here are the rules, and it can go over all of that stuff. And that would be one way that you can handle that. So let me just see if there's any more questions coming up here. Not that I see, but that would be one way you could sit back and have access to your community group. Now, another one is if you sit back and unfortunately with this one, I'm going to do portal.digiglobal, I think agency.com is what I set it up for. So yeah, this is the fake portal that I had set up just for practice. It's not really live, but people can simply log in. They could sign up right here, and when they sign in, they can come here. I'm just going to do a login for this one, but when they come in here, now they can actually get access to any of your groups and communities. And this right here is one of the things I've had an issue with. I've been trying to get Highlevel to fix, is whenever somebody comes and signs up directly on your portal link, like if they have that link from somebody or they find it or something like that and they go sign up, it creates a new contact in your CRM system, but there's no way to track that. There's no way to, if you take a look at the contact inside that field, when your contact record is created, because they have to give you their email address and stuff like that, but it'll say the source is your portal right here, but you're no way you could trigger off that. There's no workflow that you can do the trigger off that, so there's no way to identify this person as being on your portal, but they could come here and, for instance, click on a particular group. And then if this was a paid group, maybe inside of your community, this is a private group and you set up payment on it, then they could sit back and join and make a payment here directly using the interface. This is a second way that somebody could come in and join your group. Now, probably this way is not going to be the one that's used very often, because most likely you're going to be doing your marketing for your community, driving people to a landing page where they can see your virtual sales letter, all the benefits, and take them through the process that we already walked through before. So that right there would be one way to handle that, as far as being able to sit back and how do you respond to people signing up for your community. Now, if you want to receive a 15% off, then this is where of course you'd have to deal with the coupon code, and then you just simply come into your you'd have to come in here and create a coupon. I believe it's under payments, and where is it, like coupons over here. You create a coupon. This is one I created that was it's called half off coupon if you used it at checkout, and then you'd have to apply that coupon into your order form and make sure that the order form had like coupons enabled so that the coupon box would show up whenever they checked out. But if that would be the case, you could do marketing where you pushed out to your email list, hey, because you're on my list, use this term half off to get half off joining to my community for the first month or something like that. And then from there, it you can start charging them regularly or something like that. So that right there would be one way of doing this. And then how do you send stuff to them afterwards? The whole question was, I need a workflow for someone who signs up and receives 15% off from joining my community. I need to know what needs to be sent afterwards. So right now, that would just be handled in the workflow. Whenever you have the sale, you would assign them to the group. You would add them to whatever email flow nurture campaign, and then potentially add them to another workflow inside of that workflow that would then take over and provide some kind of future nurture campaign in your system. So hopefully that makes sense, and that would be one way that you would do that. Okay, any questions here? Okay, awesome. So right now I'm going to go through my next question here, and that is workflow for sending review links, but with a few reminders if they don't leave a review, and how to take them out after they leave a review. So this right here is kind of tricky, and I'm saying it's kind of tricky because there's not 100% bulletproof way that I've found that you can do this. Okay, now let me just show you this real quick here. I'm just going to pop in to a different sub account here because this deals with reviews, and I'm going to hop into my reputation management snapshot sub account. Now, by the way, if you guys want this, I'm just saying you can sign up for my SaaS Jumpstart course, and inside that free training is where I give away all my snapshots inside there as well. So you guys can get this whole snapshot of what I'm talking about here. You don't need to create it. I give this away. But if we take a look here in the automations for this one, these are all the automations that you get in my snapshot. But this was like sending a few links out. So depending upon how you want to set up your reputation management determines how you want to send links out for reviews. So right now there's the ability to sit back and ask people, like on a 0 to 5 or 1 to 5 star rating, how was it? How was your experience with us, and get their feedback that way, and then kind of do a star approach. Like if they did 4 or 5 stars, then sit back and ask them if they would leave a Google review. And if they do, then sit back and send them to Google, send them out to your Google review link. That's one way. Another way that was in here was I had built a funnel. So this right here was just like one review funnel, and basically it was the same way. But if you open this up, it just kind of gives a little bit more of a graphical interface. It's very basic. it was just like, put your logo. How was your experience with us? So, green, and there's a link for this. So if they click on either one of these, it takes them to some step in the funnel, whatever it is. So if they click on, well, it was just okay, or no, it was bad, kind of a thing, then it will take you to another thing like a form where you could fill out, it's like, how would you rate us and stuff like that. How can we do something better? So that's one way that you can sit back and engage people's reactions here. So that's inside of the snapshot. But the question is, how can we sit back and send out a review link and then sit back and see whether or not they applied for it, and then if they did, to sit back and stop sending them nurture links. Now, for the most part, if you're going to be doing review management here, I would think if you send out a review, and this could be like right after somebody did like a service call for them, or maybe they came in and you have an appointment, like maybe you're a masseuse or you work at a med spa, and then after the client's appointment, then you wait 2 hours, and then the notification goes out directly afterwards after 2 hours, which is great. But when that happens, how many should you send out? This is going to be completely out to you, but typically if you send out one right away, I like to do absolutely no more than two more notifications, and then if they don't want to leave it after that, then they're not wanting to do it at that particular point. So right now I'm trying to see if this is my Google review system. Let me see if this is okay. So here we are, review request. Here's a couple of ways that that you can send this stuff out. So right now this is sort of the SMS way. This is just sending out people a direct link to it. So here we're sending out an SMS message, and then from here it just says, hi, contact's first name, this is the business name. Thank you for choosing our services. We'd love to hear your feedback. Please take a moment and leave us a review at here. Now, notice here is a trigger link. Okay, so this is a trigger link that's already built. And again, I'm not going to go over trigger links, but the big thing about a trigger link is that you can then have another workflow that identifies that trigger link and then does something as a result of it. So what you can end up doing here, and this is where it gets to be a bit tricky, because if they come in here and they click that trigger link, that's ultimately going to send them out to the Google review link. Now, if they do that, odds are they're probably going to leave you a review if they clicked on that link. That makes sense, right? They're going to click on the link and leave you a review. They're not going to click on the link and then close the box and not do anything. Otherwise, they wouldn't have clicked on the link. So what you can do is when people click that trigger link, then you can have another workflow. That's the trigger for that workflow is when somebody clicks on this trigger link here, then remove them from the review request workflow. So that right there would be a way for you to be able to do that, to sit back and say, okay, so they click on the link and they're going to be leaving a review. Great. Let's just remove them from that workflow because they would have left a review. Now, could you go through and sit back, and do you still want to send them another review request the next day? Well, that could be kind of redundant because they might have already left you a review. Let's just say they did leave you a review. Well, the thing about it is that information can be pulled back in from it. But let me kind of explain the situation that pops up here. It's possible that you could do this, but not 100%. And let me explain what I mean by that. So let's just say somebody clicks on it and then they leave a review link. Well, the Google account that they're logged in on their phone with may not be the same email address that's registered in your system for them. It may be, possibilities it could be, but people use different email addresses for different things. So the Google account that somebody might be logged in with on their phone might be different, have again a different email address than the contact that you have them for inside of your system. So let's just say that even if you could sit back and they left a review. Now, if they did leave a review, I believe there's a trigger in the workflow that you could trigger off of review received. And then from there, you might be able to access the person's email address who left that. And if that's the case, then you might be able to do some matching between the email address of the review received versus the contact that you have in your CRM system. But again, those email addresses may not be the same. So that's where I'm saying it may not be 100%. So let me go ahead and real quick, Jake, How does the trigger link know when a job has been completed? I like to do this review management, but I'm a little confused as to the whole process. Could you walk through? How does the trigger know when the job has been completed? Quite frankly, the trigger doesn't know. The workflow that sends the trigger knows. Now, how does that know? Well, then it could be a couple of different things. Like number one, you could sit back and if you do a new trigger here, you can sit back and do appointment for appointment status. And if they come through and no, that's not right. The appointments, you can basically do the trigger off of the appointment. Like if the appointment's confirmed, and then after that, once it's confirmed, you would just have a wait statement that would wait. If a typical appointment's going to be an hour, you would have a wait statement that just said wait 2 hours or wait 3 hours, whatever that wait time is afterwards. So then as soon as their appointment is over, then the workflow would sit back and fire, wait, and then after the wait step, this is where you would send out this SMS message that has the trigger link in it. So you would have to time basically the workflow around after the person had already had the appointment and so forth. Now, if you were doing this, that would be an automated way to do that. And I don't have it. I don't believe I've got that type of workflow set up in any of these yet. Let me see the service appointment here. Okay, so right now this is okay. So this is based upon appointment confirmed, event type. So the service appointments, that was a calendar. So I have a calendar event. So as soon as the appointment status is confirmed here, then it would come down here and wait 2 hours. And right now what you would end up doing is wait 2 hours, wait for this event time, like for their appointment. And then you would say wait after 2 hours. So that's kind of like how you would do it. So I do have a workflow in here in my reputation management snapshot that basically after the service appointment, it would wait 2 hours and then send them this SMS initial message and things like that. So that's how you would end up doing it. You would have the workflow time and wait for that to happen. And then after that, then you could send out any trigger or whatever you want because this is when you're asking for the review request. So, and it's for an HVAC company, that's fine. Now, for an HVAC company, one of these things that you may end up doing is if they're using a scheduling software, this is where it gets to be a bit tricky. If they're using a scheduling software that they already have, unless you say they're not using Highlevel, then you would have to use some other third party like Zapier or Make that would have a hook that ties in, if possible, to their existing calendar event or something like that. Or, worst case scenario, somebody's in the office and they know that somebody's already left the job, like the technician, let's just say they went out to fix a place. The technician can, honestly, they could leave a leave behind. You could generate a QR code from their system on like a little business card, and the technician can leave that for them to scan. That's one way if they wanted to. But another way would be like, the technician would finish up the call, and when they did, the person in the office could get notified. Maybe the technician calls them and says, hey, this is all finished or something like that. But anyway, if somebody in the office could do it, then they could manually add that person to a workflow. They could just go into the contacts, find that person and say, click, add them to this campaign. And then from that particular point, your workflow would run. And from there, it would send out the initial message. And then from there, it would also send out follow-ups. And again, based upon a trigger link or something like that, you can cancel the workflow so they don't get notified again if they've already clicked on it to leave a review. Now, the other one real quick, I did want to sit back and say that I've got in my snapshot is, besides doing a SMS and email manual, another thing, if you wanted to, you could simply just use the send review request action that's built into Highlevel. So this right here, notice that this is like send an SMS review here and then send an email request. Now, for those, where are those located? This is where you would come underneath reputation management, under settings, and here under your SMS review request. This is the template that you would have. You'd put your logo in here and whatever you want to click in here. But then from here, if you wanted to, you could also put in a trigger link or something like that into this request if you wanted to. But this is just another way that you can use the templates inside reputation management to send out those, because sometimes these can be a little bit better formatted. You could use pictures, or if you want to use this email request, then you could simply use the email template that you already have and not build your own and send your own email out manually. So there's a couple of different ways I give you inside of the snapshot to do that. The choice of what you want to do is up to you. So got it, Jake. So once the appointment is confirmed, is already built into the workflow with the waiting period, and then it times out. Yes, right now it is already, if you're using the calendar inside of Highlevel, then yes, you can detect when the appointment is done, assuming that the person kept the appointment. But if the appointment was done, then you can have a wait step to wait after that appointment time and then do something. So hopefully that helps you out there. Let me move on here. So that's kind of how you would send the review links and then be able to opt out people, after they click on the link to leave your review. That's how you would end up doing it. Let's see. We need the membership automation guide, specifically how to automate access to groups and courses offers through automations. Okay. Again, that's kind of where we were at before with this, almost with the very first one, with different ways of coming in here for automations. So it depends. And again, I hate to always use the term "it depends," but it really does. You can design this however you want. So those people, if you want to have communities, then you have the option to have the grants, the grant group access to. Let me see if I could find that one we were just working on here. So right now, if you, again, based upon if somebody wanted to opt into your form, fill out a form to have access to your community, if they want to go through your funnel to purchase it, I don't know how you would get them into your community. But if you are dealing with the community, then this is where you would be able to grant access to the group, and you can grant access to whatever group you want to. Great, save action, and then that gives them access to the group. So if you have all of your training done through your community, then you would actually load it inside of your inside of your group. You would load this on your learning tab, and this is where, as an admin, you can come through and click on Add Course. From the Add Course option, you would be able to then select all of the courses that you have set up. These are like a couple of the test ones that I had created. So here's a course that I would want to create. All members have access to it. I'm going to offer this one for free, so there's not going to be a charge. But again, if you wanted to, you could have a one-time payment or reoccurring payment, and then click on Add Course. Then what this would do is it would add the affiliate marketing course into your community. So again, how people get access to your course, they could go through your community to do so. Now, this goes back to how you want to design things. Me personally, I really like the way Highlevel has done their community, their structures, and their setup, because it allows you to choose which way you want to do this. Do you just want to strictly go through and have a course-based interface where all they do is they log in and they see the courses, they click on the course, and then they take it? Well, great. You can set that up for that. But if the problem is, if you want to have a community and a course, and you want people to access stuff through courses, here's the problem. They always have to come up here and then notice that there's this communities, courses, or even affiliates. Now they have to go to, you can grant them access to this affiliate course, and I'm going to show you in the workflow what you could do for that. But let's just say that you didn't want to have access to this group. Let's just say that your community was your community, and they have to go to courses to access the course. Well, now they have to come here and go to courses, which takes them away from the community. And now they're inside of here. And notice this particular user doesn't have access to any courses right now. But here, if you come back to the workflow, this is how you can grant access to the group. But if you wanted to, you can grant access to a course. So, and again, courses are built by products. You add products to an offer. The offer could be free. The offer could be paid. That's the structure of how you have to build it. So these are the offers. And let's just say I wanted to have access to the affiliate training course. So whenever somebody signed up for my opt-in page or went and purchased the course using my virtual sales letter on my funnel or something like that, I could sell them access to the course. In which case, up here, the trigger would just be the funnel sale. And then from here, you would grant them access to the offer. Once you granted them access to the offer, then Highlevel would automatically send them an email saying, congratulations, you now have access to this course. Click on this link to now access it. Something like that. So that's how that would work. Now, I'm going to save this real quick. But one of the things that you get an option here is you do get an option for, I think it's in memberships, and man, I'm really using my brain today of where all these settings are here. But I think in here for app permissions, yeah. So client portal, settings, and then under app permissions, this is where you can sit back and say, okay, do I want to show communities on my list? Meaning, do I want this right here? What do I want here on this particular list? So I can have communities, courses, affiliates, billing and subscription. And the billing and subscription is never on that menu, by the way. And if you click on the home page, if you do have, this is another question that people often, I get often, is if I click on this, you get the managed subscriptions here. Okay. So here, manage subscriptions, and if they are paying for a subscription, so if they're paying to be a part of your group, this is where they can come and cancel their subscription if they want to do it manually. So they can do all that stuff through here, and it's a great feature that Highlevel built in here. So, but I don't want to do that. I'm not going to log in and authenticate, but this is sort of your home page. Okay, this right here is a home page. Now, you don't have to have people come to your home page. You can have them go, for instance, directly into the community or directly into the courses, whichever you want to do, and you would do that here. So you would say, first of all, what do I want to have on these options here in the top right corner? What options do I want to have here and provide to people? And then when you do that, this right here where it says select the default landing page, I'm trying to blow this up. You can sit back and say, I want them to go to the home page, which is this one, when they click on home. Or do I want them to land on the communities or the courses or the affiliates? What do I want to be their start page? You can define all of this right here in your memberships. So hopefully that gives you an idea here. Let me, I'm trying to sit back and pull up that list again for questions. Sorry. Come on, where is it? So this is how you would automate access to the groups. That's a simple way to do it. So you would just use a funnel or something like that to come in and buy it. The workflow would detect a purchase in the funnel. From there, you would grant access to the offer. And again, if that offer was paid, then that product would obviously be sold on the in your funnel. Whenever you have the order form, you would add that particular product in for it. And again, that product is not the same kind of product that you would configure in the SaaS configurator. That's something completely different. Those are about services that you would sell. You would have to configure this product manually, whether it be a one-time payment, monthly recurring, something like that. And then whenever you do that, then people, your clients, would have access to that here under the managed subscriptions. So, excuse me, that would be a way to do that. So that would be another one. Got another question here, but let me see. Anybody else have any questions? Nope. Good. I'm glad of that. So moving on here. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, the thing about Highlevel is there are a couple of different ways that you can do things based upon how you want to design it. Me personally, I think just offering a funnel, a landing page, sending them to a URL, going through a virtual sales page, click on the funnel, next step. Here's an order form, buy it next. Here's confirmation, you're confirming you're buying this. It's a monthly subscription for $149 a month, whatever it is. You click on it, and now you can grant them access to your community and add them to a nurture sequence. And then from there, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'll just take a minute right now when I say nurture sequences to come here and actually hop in and show you the one that I was working on here. This is one I was working on for an affiliate, for some of my affiliates for my 30-day action plan. So right now I do offer, it's a free course. It's a 30-day action plan for those people that are just starting out at Highlevel. What you should do from your agency level to your sub account to getting your services ready to literally within the 30-day trial period once you sign up. I have a link below that you get 30-day free trial if you haven't signed up already. But here's the nurture sequence that happens every day that you sign up as an affiliate of mine. Now, you don't get this if you just sign up and you're not an affiliate. It is free for you, but you go through it yourself. I just help my affiliates out by sending them emails with some nuggets of information and just sort of daily motivation every day to get things done. And typically it's only between about 1 and 3 hours worth of work per day to get this stuff set up, but it is a step-by-step guide and hopefully guide you through it. Here's the biggest thing that the takeaway that I've had to figure out is, in this kind of case, this could be if you wanted to do a nurture sequence yourself, but here's the problem is that if you do nurture sequences and you have waiting periods, like let's just say somebody signs up and you send them an email and you want to wait and send them another email tomorrow. Great. You can do that. But the problem is that how do you dictate when that person gets the email tomorrow? See, let's use this as an example. Somebody signs up and they sign up at 10 o'clock their time, whatever their time zone is. Now, do you want all future emails to always be sent to them at 10 o'clock at night? Because ultimately, if you just use a wait step for, wait 1 day or wait 24 hours, that's what's going to happen. So they sign up at 10 o'clock. That's when the workflow starts. Then they get this introductory email here. I'm just using this as an example. And then, you come here to the wait step, and this wait step just says wait 1 day. Well, it's going to wait a day, and then the next day at 10 o'clock, it's going to send them another one out. Well, they could be sleeping at that time. I don't know. Or out doing something else. When do you want that email to be sent to them? So this is a cool thing. If you click on this particular wait, you can do a wait time delay. And what I've done here is just do the advanced window and just kind of say, okay, no matter when they sign up, Sunday through Saturday, I want it to go out exactly at 8 o'clock a.m. the next morning. So right now, what this is going to do is, I set this up for, you got to have a wait step here. So I just have it wait 1 minute. Okay. And then after that, it's going to say wait, again, because of the advanced window, till exactly 8 o'clock the next morning. 8 a.m. And again, it could be your time or it could be the client's time. You actually have to adjust that in the workflow. I'll show you where that is real quick. But if it's the client's time, which is great, then they're going to get it at 8 o'clock the next morning. So again, you can have one email go out right away. Then you have a wait step that says wait till 8 o'clock the next morning. It doesn't have to be 24 hours. You're just going to wait till 8 o'clock the next morning. And then now you're setting the time at which those emails go out. Because you want them to get it first thing in the morning when they come up, they're refreshed, and they start checking their email. You want them to see, hey, here's day one event. Here's what you're going to do for day one. Perfect. So then this goes out, and then they get day one email. And then from here, after this is where you can have just a very easy, simple wait 1 day. And then it's going to wait a day, but the day is going to always start at 8 o'clock because of this very first wait statement is going to set the time that email goes out. And then all the other emails in there are just set to go out 1 day afterwards at the same time. So that was just something I was working on that I found out and I created a video on. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys regarding just how to do that. Let me see if we got another comment. Hey, Salam. New here, in order to trigger automations, we always need a manual action from the client, the CRM. No, that's one way to do it. But you can manually always trigger a workflow automation. If you just were to come in here and take a look, you could pick somebody, doesn't really matter who, come here, click on the little robot icon, proceed, and just manually assign them to whatever workflow they want and send it out. So that's always an option for you if you want to, but I mean, there's so many different options that you have inside of the automations for triggering it that you should be able to find some form of a trigger or something that you can have that the automation will automatically happen and you don't have to do that yourself. But yes, you can manually do it. So the last question I have here was just, in an automation, if we assign a task to a user to respond to someone's email, can we wait for the task to be completed in the same workflow? If not, we have to start a new automation in which task completed is the trigger. Yes, there is a trigger for that. They ask was the assign in the previous automation was specific to a contact that ended the automation, but now in the second automation, would the automation keep track of the contact related to the task? I see. Okay, and the answer to that is it depends. And I hate to say it like that because there's a couple of different ways that you can end up doing this. So number one, if you have a workflow, and I'm going to use the one that we've already been kind of dealing with here so I don't create a bunch of new ones. But here, if we've got this, what they're saying is, let's just say something happens, you get an email response, and let's just say from here you do a good one that you guys should always remember is this customer replied. This customer replied is a very, very good trigger to always use. So right now you could filter this. There's a lot of filters. Again, contains phrase here. I'm gonna blow this up real quick so we can kind of see this. But contains phrase, has tag, intent type. So again, you can use some of the AI, like what is their intent, or replied to workflow. So this is one of those cool things where if you have a workflow where you have an email nurture sequence and it's sending out emails. Didn't like that one. Let's see if we can reload this thing here, but I guess it killed it. I blew it up. So let me come back here and start this all over again here, always on a live, right? Always doing this on a live demo. So here we go. We've got this. And now if you wanted to, again, with the customer replied, this is a cool one because like I said, if you're ever doing cold email outreach or something like that, this is where it's nice if you go to, replied in workflow, and let's just say you pulled, I'm just going to, that's going to be a bad one here, but let's just say you had a workflow that did some kind of a nurture sequence here. I can't really think of Google review request. So let's just say if it was if you're sending out an email and somebody replied back and they like literally sent something back, you can add another filter, sit back here, and you could just even say reply channel. So you could say if they this could be an email. If they wanted to, again, could be a call if you have a phone number in here, but another one would be an SMS. So if you did send an SMS out and they replied back and says, hey, it'd be great if you leave this a review, great, I will do that tomorrow, or something like that. That's one of those other ones. It's like, well, they replied back, and if they did reply back here, what was their intent? Was their intent good? Was it bad? And this is kind of where you'd have to build the automation out for that if somebody did reply, because you wouldn't want to necessarily opt them out of the workflow if they replied, because they might be asking a question or something like that. But anyway, this right here is always a good one, because you could say, hey, if they replied to this workflow and they replied via email, then I want to save that trigger, and then I want to do something as a result of it. So that would be a good one. But speaking specifically about this task completed, sorry, that was a trigger, not an action here. So here, and I actually called, I did have some questions about this. This was a little bit rather frustrating here. Let me do this in case right now, here was my big pet peeve, if you will, regarding this task completed. You cannot specify what task was completed. See, that's kind of the problem with this task completed, and it is. So right now, if you take a look at the filters, there's no way for you to say a particular task in here was completed. The only thing you could do is have an assigned user, and then the assigned user is, you just choose somebody from your list. Let's say it was me, or one of the other people here. So right now, when a task gets completed by John, then it will fire. But you don't know what task it is. It could be any number of tasks that was created, but whenever it's completed, then something would happen. Okay, does that make sense? And that's one of those things that's a little bit frustrating. It's like, great, I have no granular control over what specific task or anything like that. So unfortunately, do you have a wait step that could wait for that task? Take a look at this. Not really, because if you look at the wait step only has a few things that it could deal with. It could have a time delay, which is just simply, wait, 30 minutes. But you do have an advanced window here, like I showed you earlier, where you can have some other things going on in the advanced window. But you can also sit back and do like event or appointment time. That I kind of showed you an example of that earlier with the appointment. So you could say, wait until their appointment, afterwards, say, 2 hours, then do something, and then, move to the next step or do something like that. You can specify what step that they go to here. That would be another event. But notice here, and then wait until it's overdue, like or the wait until before or after the invoice date. Now, there are some other things that you could do here, from condition wise, but none of these are going to sit back and handle waiting for a particular task. Because again, what I've found out from support is that Highlevel cannot identify a specific task that somebody's completed because the task could vary. I mean, if you create a workflow, you might create tasks for follow up with client, follow up with client. See, the problem is there's no like task templates in here that you can actually use for that. So that's one of those things where it gets to be a bit tricky. So you'll have to kind of think about how, what you can do to figure out once a task is completed, then how would you, trigger a workflow or start an automation. This is like, could you maybe tag the contact with something like when the task is completed or something like that? I don't know. But this is one of those things where you're going to have to do something else that will trigger a workflow. So if you ever want to, this is where it'd be a good idea to click on these triggers and just look. What are all these, that can be added that like once you complete the task or something that you could use as another trigger to do what you want to do, like add a tag to a contact or something like that. So these, just look through all these and you're like, okay, these are all the options that I get. So out of these, what can I do? So anyway, let me take a look at the questions. All right, is it Majid? So Ray, thank you. Appreciate it. No, thank you. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. How can I learn complex automations? Practice, man. I mean, absolutely practice, and just look at some of the automations that are already out there. Some of the good things that if you wanted to, cancel. I'll just save this real quick. But if you wanted to, if you click on this create workflow and go select from receipt recipe, these right here would be good ones to learn from. So right now, these are ones you can create. All of these are recipes that Highlevel have created for this. And then from here, it can create them and you can sit back and do, just learn from this right here. So if you want to create from this recipe for appointment, confirmation plus reminder plus survey plus review request, you would select that and it would create this nice workflow with all these things as far as confirmation emails, things like that. And you can sit back and learn, okay, well, what is this if statement? And just go down and learn what it's doing. Now, if you needed some help, this is where you can come over here to this nice little purple thing. If you guys haven't seen this, this is called WorkFlow AI. So this is where you can sit back if you're having problems, Majid. You can sit back and say, okay, I've got a workflow here. Help me understand what this is. Describe this workflow. And what the WorkFlow AI will do is that it will look at the workflow and say, let me break this down into simple terms here. So here's the breakdown. Number one, the workflow starts when an appointment is confirmed. Okay, so it tells you that. Then an email is sent. Then it waits 24 hours. So it tries to give you the verbiage to read through it, to tell you what it's doing if you don't know how to do it. Now keep in mind, you get so many workflow AIs. If you take a look here, I'm gonna, may not be able to get this blown up. 29 out of 30 credits free remaining credits will reset in a day. So it looks like 30 free credits they're offering you every day that you do this, which is great. But once you do that, it will start costing you money. But this goes back into if you want to have this along with WorkFlow AI is a component of the AI employee, which again, that's a whole other thing to get into. I have a whole other video on my YouTube channel that I did for going over all the 6 components of AI employee, which WorkFlow AI is one of them. So let me see if there's any other questions. Ray, do you even have any deliverability or reputation management with GHL built into email sending, or do you prefer to use an external Oh no, I mean, if you're going to be doing emails, absolutely. Highlevel has made it very easy using the LC email system to do that. I mean, you don't need to have all the complications in it. You can use your own custom SMTP servers if you want to. That's going to be up to you. But honestly, if you're looking for ease, I would just simply use LC email, go through and create a dedicated domain. And guys, check out the one from 2 weeks ago, the live I did 2 weeks ago. That's all about email setup. It was about 90 minutes, and it really goes into why you should do it, where you should go, how you should set it up, all this email sending to make sure that you end in the inbox. So all of that was in there. Hey, Majid, no, not a problem here. So you're welcome about that. But that was all the questions I had here. And I think right now, I think that'd be good enough. But I'm trying to do more sessions like this where I could sit back and help people out. You can hop in and I've been doing them on Friday. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do lives, but I'm going to be publishing, trying to get to a point where I could do lives on certain days. And again, whenever this happens, if you're a member of my YouTube channel, then you will be able to hop in and ask questions like this and interact. And then there will be some lives that will just be member only that I will have for members and so forth. And then members, you guys will even have your own private sort of area when you log in that'll have like member only videos that are only going to be available to you guys, because I'm taking polls as far as what are you guys looking to learn, how can I help you out best from this. And again, it's like $3 a month to join the channel. For right now, I'm not really going to be pushing this. It's I think a soda costs more than that at this point. But if you're interested, click on the join button, join my membership. But guys, that's about all the questions I have. Thanks so much for hanging in with me this time, and I'll see you again later.